Namaste. Today's subject is whether Rahu is connected with black magic. What is black magic? Black magic is basically using evil spirits, ghosts, to cause harm to others. Who does black magic? Black magic is done by an expert who knows how to use the evil spirits to cause harm to you. Why the black magician does all these things? For money. Who pays him money? Your enemy. So understand. Whosoever is your enemy, open enemy, 7th house, secret enemy, 6th house. Whosoever is your enemy goes to the black magician, pays him or her the money, and tells him or her to target you, to destroy you financially, to destroy you emotionally, to destroy you physically. So the whole game is of money. Now there are black magicians who charge somewhere between 2 lakhs to 20 lakhs, and then there are black magicians who may charge somewhere between 10,000 to 50,000. Basically, this whole game is of money. So whosoever is doing black magic on you is able to do it because that person has got sufficient money. Black magic is such a pain that because of black magic, so many families, so many good people have been destroyed. However, by chance, by their own good karma, some of them have survived. Some of them have been able to defeat these all kind of negative people. But still, black magic is something that continues to cause much harm to innocent people. Black magic is done by using many items, many tantric items. However, one significant item is this lemon. Through this just one lemon, the black magician can do n number of things. So how Rahu is connected with black magic? You should understand that Rahu leads you to ignorance. So if you are too much influenced by Rahu, then you will continue to do all kind of things that you are supposed to not do. So you will continue to indulge in this black magic. You will continue to cause harm to your enemies by using black magic. But let me tell you, this is a very, very dangerous game. If by chance you go wrong, then you will end up in a very miserable state. Basically, black magic is the worst thing that you will ever indulge in. If by chance you indulge in black magic, if you pay money to a black magician to cause harm to somebody, let me tell you, you are digging your own graveyard. You are going the wrong way. But people are not in the state of listening. They are boiling with anger. They want to take revenge. And then they go to these black magicians seeking revenge. However, all of this is ignorance, and this ignorance is what Rahu is all about. And so it is natural that when you are driven by Rahu, when you are driven by your desires, these desires make you ignorant. Then you don't think about anything else. You just want to attain your desire. You just want to cause harm to your enemy. And then you fall to such a cheap level that you go to a black magician and you pay him supari for killing somebody or for causing harm to somebody. What a poor stage this is. That is why Buddha says that you will not be harmed for your anger, you will be harmed by your anger. It is your anger, it is your jealousy that eventually lead you to nowhere. In this podcast, I have talked about how Rahu is connected with black magic. So let's begin. Rahu drives you. Rahu is your desire, and it is desire that drives you. So when you intensely desire to cause harm to a certain person, then you lose your consciousness. And then when there is absolutely no consciousness, then you simply end up screwing yourself and damaging your future prospects by indulging in the heinous act of black magic. Truth is hard, and the truth is that there are real life cases wherein the mother has cast a black magic spell on her son. Why? Because she hates her son. There are real life cases where a brother has cast a black magic spell on his younger brother. There are real life cases wherein the stepmother has cast very dangerous black magic spells on her stepson. Always remember, stepmother is the worst person you would ever come across. Statistics show that across the world, 95% of stepmothers have been wicked and have caused much harm to their stepson or stepdaughter. Stepmother, stepfather, housemaid, servant, men and women belonging to a religion or a caste to which you don't belong, all of these fall in the domain of Rahu and in the domain of 6th house. And all of this can turn against you or can cause much harm to you by means of black magic. That is why I always say that never trust your housemaid. But the situation in India is such that in many societies, especially in so-called metro cities, the entire house is left in the hands of housemaids. In some scenarios, the housemaid has become so important that if the husband doesn't return back home, then it is okay. But the housemaid should always be there, no matter what. Indian families, especially upper and higher middle class families in India, have become so dependent on housemaids and servants that the less said, the better. A few years ago, there was a case wherein a woman was not able to find a suitable partner. So then her brother approached a black magician and paid him 40,000 rupees. The black magician then cast certain spells, and then after 4 months, the woman got married. However, the story is not over yet. Exactly after 6 months, the same woman filed a divorce case in court, and after a few months, she got divorced. So you see, people try to manipulate the matters of their life by indulging in black magic, and then one day they get a good kickback, because when you try to play God, you make an ass of yourself, and that is exactly what Neem Karoli Baba says. Baba says it is very difficult to know exactly what good should come out of a particular situation. To attempt to manipulate circumstances so your idea of good can come about is to let the ego play God, and that, as you know, can and does backfire. Ego is your mind. Drop the ego and the mind cannot survive. When your ego is hurt, when a person rubs you the wrong way, then you start boiling with anger. And when anger haunts you, when you are driven by your anger, then nobody on this planet can stop you. Then you approach a black magician. The black magician gives you all kinds of guarantees. He says, "You don't worry, I will make your enemies suffer. You just pay the money that I would need to cast a black magic spell on the targeted victim." And then you pay a heavy amount of money to the black magician. So you see, you are so much in the grip of anger that you don't know what you are doing to yourself. You don't know that how much you are falling from the grace of the good Holy Lord. You don't know that by paying money to the black magician, you are digging your own grave. Remember, once you indulge in black magic, then your next birth is going to be a hell. And that is how such men and women suffer a lot in their next birth as well as in this birth as well. Once a great master said to me, there is an old woman, must be in her 50s or 60s, who is trying to do black magic on you, and that is why you are facing certain issues in life. And I was young at that time, must be in my mid-20s, and so I asked innocently that if this woman is doing this kind of thing, then when will she pay for her deeds? And the master smiled and said, she will pay heavily, but later in her life. So you see, sometimes you have to wait and defend yourself until the person attacking you is exhausted of his or her good karmic balance. Once their good karmic balance is over, then they start suffering immensely, and that is when their downfall begins. We all have our good karmic balance. Similarly, the people who do black magic on you also have their own quota of good karma. However, they spend their good karmic balance by indulging in the heinous act of black magic, while you continue to walk on the path of righteousness. So one day it is obvious that you are going to win, and the man or woman casting a black magic spell on you is going to be finished by their own evil karmas. Lust, anger, jealousy, and greed are the four primary reasons that push a person into the dark world of black magic. Basically, it is these four evils that make you blind, meaning ignorant. And when you become blind, when you become ignorant, then you start digging your own grave by indulging in revenge. And when you become revengeful, you tend to incline towards all unethical ways, of which black magic is one of the most unethical and the most cheap means that only a cheap, ignorant fool would indulge in. Desire leads to ignorance, and this is how Rahu leads to ignorance, because the source of desire is Rahu. And so, a man or a woman driven by Rahu, or having moon with Rahu or sun with Rahu, or having Saturn with Rahu, is most likely to indulge in the heinous act of black magic spell. Once a woman said to a man, "I have given supari to a black magician to kill you, to finish you, to destroy you completely." Supari is an Indian word which means a heavy amount of money to kill somebody. The man approached me and said, "Now what to do? That woman has given money to a black magician to kill me by means of black magic spells. I am afraid I will be killed and nobody may know how I was killed, because all of this game of black magic happens through the supernatural world." I smiled and said to him, "Why you worry? Remember what Sai Baba used to say, Sabka Malik Ek, meaning God is the Lord of all creatures on this planet. And so no matter what happens, if you remain truthful, if you remain devoted towards your Lord, then no woman or man can harm you. Remember, मरने वाले से बचाने वाला बड़ा होता है. Meaning, the Savior is always greater than the person who is trying to kill you. The man gained much strength. I suggested to him some remedies and then he was perfectly fine. Today, the woman is no more. She died in a very bad state, but this man is doing well. In fact, he has become a celebrity. That is how it is. God always is with that man who remains firm and continues to walk on the path of righteousness. But there are people who try to retaliate and then they fall into the vicious cycle of sufferings and miseries. Tit for tat is not the right way. Never retaliate, else what is the difference between you and the person indulging in black magic? The great spiritual master Osho Rajneesh said during his last discourse that some people are trying to target him by using black magic spells. Osho says that he can retaliate, but he will not, because he don't want to get trapped in the vicious cycle of tit for tat. Yet another great spiritual master, in fact he was such a great avdhut, a great saint. His name was Vasudevananda Saraswati Maharaj. He was the guru of the much famed Rangavdhut Maharaj of Gujarat, and he was also the guru of Sri Gulavani Maharaj. However, even though he was such a great spiritual master, he was aware that some member of his family were doing black magic on him. He never retaliated. It happened so that during the very last days of His Holiness Vasudevananda Saraswati, Maharaj said that some family members are trying to target him by using black magic. Then he laughed, a loud belly laugh, and said, "Those are foolish, childish people, and I don't play with kids." The message was simple. I would not respond to their black magic attacks. Let them die with their evil karmas, and after death they will suffer tremendously, so much so that it cannot be expressed in words. Nowadays, The web of black magicians is growing across the world. Many Indian tantrics and black magicians have settled in Canada and Australia because that is their new market. As far as India is concerned, in every metro city there is a huge presence of black magicians and tantrics because in metro cities they are able to charge in lakhs and in millions, and many even have a good customer base. Whether you are based in India, Europe, Middle East, Far East, US, Canada, or Australia, the presence of black magicians is across the world simply because black magic have been existing from the very beginning of time. Black magic is used to destroy the person you hate or dislike. Black magic is used to attract a certain person. This act is called Vashikaran. Many men use this black magic act of Vashikaran to attract a woman they want, or even a woman uses this kind of black magic spell to attract a man that she intensely desires for. Black magic is also used to make a person totally mad. Black magic is also used to make you a sex maniac, meaning you will constantly think about sex and only sex, and you will also indulge in sexual acts. Basically, black magic is used by cheap people who simply want to manifest their desires by hook or crook. Black magic is done in many ways. There are 1,000 ways of doing black magic. However, the most common way is by mixing a certain black magic powder in your food or in your drink, or by using your used clothes, or by using your name and your mother's name. That is why you should never disclose your mother's name to strangers. Although if the person targeting you is from your family, then you can't do much to save yourself than to have strong faith in God. To overcome black magic spells, the most significant weapon that you should always carry with you is the weapon of faith and patience. Shraddha or Saburi. Remember, the woman or man doing black magic on you someday will start suffering, because how long can they dance on their savings? Someday their savings of good karma will be over, and then they will start suffering like hell. All you have to do is not to indulge in responding to their attacks by using black magic. Don't get your hands dirty by indulging in black magic. Instead, focus on expanding your faith and strengthening the level of your patience. Reminds me of a beautiful story. A man just got married and was returning home with his wife. They were crossing a lake in a boat when suddenly a great storm arose. The man was a warrior, but the woman became very much afraid because it seemed almost hopeless. The boat was small and the storm was really huge, and any moment they were going to be drowned. But the man sat silently, calm and quiet, as if nothing was happening. The woman was trembling and she said, "Are you not afraid? This may be our last moment of life. It doesn't seem that we will be able to reach the other shore. Only some miracle can save us. Otherwise, death is certain. Are you not afraid? Are you mad or something? Are you a stone or something?" The man laughed and took the sword out of its sheath. The woman was even more puzzled what he is doing. Then he brought the naked sword close to the woman's neck, so close that just a small gap was there. It was almost touching her neck. He said, "Are you afraid?" She started to giggle and laugh and said, "Why should I be afraid? If the sword is in your hands, why should I be afraid? I know you love me." He put the sword back and said, "This is my answer. I know God loves me, and the sword is in His hands, and the storm is in His hands. So, whatsoever is going to happen is going to be good. If we survive, good. If we don't survive, good, because everything is in His hands and He cannot do anything wrong." This is the trust one needs to imbibe. Such tremendous trust is capable of transforming your whole life, and only such a tremendous trust and faith is capable of transforming your life. Less than that won't do. And so, no matter how many men or women are doing black magic on you, if you have tremendous trust and faith in God, then mark my words, you will be alright and you will continue to progress in life. Remember, your success is the greatest answer to your enemy. Many times, when you can no more take it, when you are completely tired of all the dirty games that your enemy plays on you, you tend to start believing that God is dead. But that is not the reality. God is very much alive. God simply means life, the inexhaustible law of existence. How can it die? There is no way. Forms change, but God remains. There is one hilarious story. It is said that God visited the New York subways recently. Someone had scrawled on the wall, "God is dead," signed by a communist. And underneath it was written, "Communist is dead," signed by God. That seems to be far truer. But an even better message for you. A London subway has this cheerful message: God is dead, but don't worry, Mary is pregnant again. Mary is pregnant again. This is how people continue to kill God and also give birth to God. But the matter of fact is that God has been existing from the very beginning of time. It is just that we tend to forget Him, and then somebody has to come back to remind us that God is alive. That is how the last word of Buddha was, Samasti. Samasti means remember. Remember that God is within you. God is the ultimate fragrance of your consciousness. It is necessary to remember that God has no religion. Mahatma Gandhi says God has no religion. But still people are so trapped in the teachings of religion that they cannot see God because their eyes are blinded by the concepts given to them. God is not a Jew. God is not a Hindu. God is not a Muslim. God is not a Christian. And God is neither Buddhist, Sikh or Jain. And so if you have a certain religious idea of God, then you will not find Him. I have heard a beautiful story, a story of a great Sufi mystic, Baba Farid. One night he dreams that by the grace of Lord he has reached paradise, and the whole of paradise is decorated, millions of lights and flowers everywhere. Some celebration is going on and a great music. He inquires, "What is going on?" And they say, "This is God's birthday and we are celebrating it. You have come at the right moment." So he stands underneath a tree to see what is happening, because a great procession starts moving on the road. A man is sitting on a horse. He inquires, "Who is this man?" And they say, "Don't you know him? He is the divine master, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him." And then millions and millions of people behind him, and he asks, "Who are these people?" And he is replied to, "They are Mohammedans followers of Prophet Muhammad. They are Muslims. And then comes Jesus, and millions are following him. And then comes Krishna on his golden chariot, and millions again are following him, and so on and so forth. The procession continues, and continues. And then finally, in the end, on an old donkey, an old man is coming, and nobody is behind him. He is just alone. Farid starts laughing looking at this man. It is hilarious. Nobody is following him. And why should he be going on this donkey? He asks, "Who are you, sir?" "I have seen Prophet. I have seen Christ, Krishna, Mahavira, Buddha." "Who are you? You look like a kind of a joke, and nobody is following you." And the old man is very sad, and he says, "Yes, I am God. This is my birthday. But some people have become Mohammedans, some have become Christians, some have become Jews, some have become Hindus. Nobody is left to be with me." The dream was over. Baba Farid woke up. He told his disciples the next day, "Now I am no more a Mohammedan. The dream has been a great revelation. Now I am no part of any organized religion. I am simply myself. I would like to be with God, at least one person, following Him." And this is exactly what I love, and what I would insist to all my followers to do. That is to be that one person who is following God and not any religion, because God has no religion. Religion came into existence so that it becomes a bridge that would help you connect with God. But instead of becoming a bridge, today religion has become a wall that obstructs one from merging with God. Truth is hard, and many may not even realize the message I am trying to convey, because the majority is blind, ignorant. In the name of religion, they have forgotten the very essence of humanity. Remember, you cannot stop others from doing black magic on you, because how many hands you will hold? You cannot hold every hand that wants to cast a black magic spell on you. However, you can always hold the feet of the Lord. You can always hold on to your faith. You can always hold on to your patience. And you can always hold on to the fact that this whole universe is made of love. And if you continue to walk on the path of love, if you continue to walk on the path of devotion, then no matter what, in the end, you are going to be victorious. In the end, all those women and men will make their hands dirty by indulging in black magic, but you will continue to grow. You will continue to prosper. You will continue to fly, because you never give up on God. Never give up on God, because God never gives up on you. Always remember, it may look like your situation is never going to change, but in a split second, God can completely resolve it. And I have seen it happening in so many people's life, that suddenly out of nowhere a man has found a good job, that suddenly out of nowhere a woman has found a good marriage partner, that suddenly out of nowhere a poor man, a very poor man, has found his meal. Anything and everything is possible in the kingdom of God. The larger question is whether you are willing to walk on the path of righteousness, whether you are willing to walk on the path of devotion, path of love. If your answer is yes, then you are all set to experience the most wonderful years of your life. Always remember, God tests those whom He loves the most. Your enemy may take great efforts in destroying you by using black magic. However, they don't know yet how big your God is. Always, when in difficulty, keep reminding yourself, keep saying to yourself, I have a big God that can do big miracles. Always focus on walking with faith. With God, all things are possible. When you pray to God, don't tell God how big your problems are. Tell your small problems how big your God is. Love to all my close followers. I am happy to know that my sharing, that my podcast is encouraging you, helping you to keep going. And I know you all are good fellows, and no matter how many difficulties you go through, in the end, you are going to emerge victorious. Remember, it takes a minute to kill somebody, but it takes 9 months for a new life to begin. Good things always take time, and so the wait is worth it. Rejoice in the name of the Holy Lord, and when you continue to chant His holy name, will anything ever go wrong? Have faith in the Lord. Always remember, in the end, faith wins. In the end, love wins. In the end, patience wins. Jai Sri Ganesha, Jai Guru. ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः।